DJI Mini 3, all the latest. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by very special guests, Mr. Matt Cundiff and Captain Ray Kelly, and also very special co-host, Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 3, including a detailed discussion regarding pricing, availability, and features. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. I want to spend some time talking about the Mini 3 here. Now, one of the things that I noticed last night, all right, is Lauren was talking about something that's imminent, okay? And I think what's imminent is, and I was hoping we were going to get it today, was it being on the FCC database. Okay, that's the big thing, and I think that's the thing we're all kind of waiting on. I think that's going to be sooner rather than later. And I know a lot of you guys go out there who have looked successfully before for stuff and haven't been able to find it. I've gotten a lot of pings on that. Guys go out there daily and do due diligence to this, which is great. And it's still not out there yet. It still hasn't hit. But I think the one thing that I think we're all going to be aware of, and I know that our good friend up north shared it with us, is that the pricing on this is going to be north of what he had been telling us. It's not going to be $649. I think we're probably looking $675, $695 for a base package, guys. Do you think that's? Yeah. Do you think that, first of all, and I got to ask you guys this question: is that something that's doable?
I think so. Yeah, it's a brand new drone, newer technology. It's a mini drone, as they say. People seem to like it, especially newcomers. So I think it's going to be a total success. I really do.
Lauren says $699 in chat, Bill.
Yep.
Okay.
Here's my question. I'll direct it to Captain Ray here. A lot of people bought the Mini 2, not because of the camera, not because of the range of this. They bought it because of the price point.
Exactly.
I think what was the first one was $399. The Mini 1, Mini 2 is $499. Right. That the price point was the number one draw. They wanted a drone, they wanted a reliable drone, and they wanted that price point. Now, if you're a Mini 2 owner and $449 was your price point, will you be willing to pay $250 to upgrade? I think a lot of people that bought the Mini because the price point was their number one thing, they're going to stay with the Mini 2 because a lot of those people don't care that it will have a slightly better camera or that it may have front obstacle avoidance sensors. That, it's not that those people don't want those features, but the price is their number one issue here.
Agree.
I agree, Ron, with you.
I don't see much of a reason to upgrade, especially if the price point's that much more. Right. But for somebody like me that sold my Mini 2 months ago, this is a no-brainer for me.
Right.
And I have the original Mini, the Mini 1, and not that it's a bad drone, not at all. I enjoy flying it. I flew it the other day out of here for a sunset flight, and but the Wi-Fi connection, it's the newer drone has OcuSync, right? And it's better. So
this one's going to have O3. It's going to, for a fact it is. It's going to have a better camera. It's going to have obstacle avoidance. It's going to have tracking and all that spotlight feature stuff. Yeah, this is a definite for me, and I haven't even seen it yet.
I'm going to ask
Adam. This is an interesting, probably release maybe DJI's ever had as far as, we all saw the picture, the diagram with the smart controller and whatever, and we know a Mini 3 with smart controller is going to be over $1,000, minimum $1,000. So that probably won't be there. They probably won't just release a model with a smart controller. So we're going to have two different models. So the big question is, what's the price difference between the models, and are there any feature differences between the models? outside the controller. There's so many unanswered questions in this one that this will be a release.
I don't think it's going to be an
have.
actual smart controller. I think it's just going to be a telemetry screen, like a Fly app. That's it. I don't think you're going to be able to do much with it. HDMI outputs, you're not going to be able to run side apps. You're not going to be able to side load stuff. I think it's just going to be just a plain simple regular controller with a screen on it, like a 5-inch screen. It's not going to have full 1000 nit brightness, none of that crap. Just going to be strictly Fly app. That's it.
So a kind of a
dumbed down version. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And I don't see them kicking over $1,000 for this combo, no matter what it is, because once you start stepping on the toes of the Air 2S, then you're in territory where you're like, why would I buy a Mini 3 when I could buy the Air 2S for the same price?
These
Matt
are all
makes
good points, Matt. But I mean, like people say, if they're putting this screen, if they're upgrading this controller, it's got to add to the bottom line at some point. And
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I hope beyond hope that for $699, as Lauren just said, you get a Mini 3, you get a controller. It doesn't have to be a smart controller, a controller with the screen in that you don't have to use your phone, even if it's not 1,000 nits or whatever. If it's 500-600 nits or whatever, that would be a knockout. That would be a knock the rest of the competition dead product.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that it kind of reminds me of, the original Mavic Pro, it had that monochrome screen where, you got your telemetry on there, which I absolutely love that. And I was hoping against hope that DJI was going to carry it on with the Mavic 2, and they didn't. And I was really bummed about that because I thought, that was a really good thing to have that.
The Mavic 2 had a bill. It's the Mavic 3 that lost it.
Yeah.
The Mavic 2 standard control had the telemetry too.
Yeah, you're right, Ron. I was hoping against hope that we would see it, but we didn't, and that really kind of bummed me out. I mean, I was really kind of bummed out by that. But with something like this, a dedicated Fly app, like Matt was saying, just not side loading anything, nothing, and it just works, okay, and it gives you what you need on there, all right, and keeping that price point the way it is, and I'm going to tell you this, guys, okay. For $699, if it includes something like that, that is a winner. That's something I would buy. If I was going out there looking for a drone right now and it had something like that, and I said, you know what? I won't have to use my phone with this. Yes.
It's a pleasure not have to use your phone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see, I'm a tablet guy, so it's different for me. I like the bigger screen. I really do. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I use my Fold. And see, the nice thing about using my Fold, it's really
you can do it two different ways.
Yeah, and I got to thank Mr. Stephen Ewing because he has a Fold and he clued me in and he says, "Hey, you can use this holder for it." And boom, I've been doing that, and I'll tell you what, I haven't looked back since I've done that. That was one of the best things I've done. And I had the tablet. I had the whatchamacallit, Triple Tech. But for me, the Triple Tech was too heavy. It was too heavy on that controller, and even with the lanyard on, it was just too dang heavy. I mean, it was great. It worked phenomenally, especially out in the sun. There was no problem with that. But I tell you what. But the other thing that I didn't like about it was I tried the screen recorder on it, and the screen recorder was kind of funky on it, and that's one of the things for me. That's a must-have, okay? Whether I have a tablet or a phone, that screen recorder records flawlessly, because in case God forbid, I have an accident with my drone and I lose my drone, and I got to have some proof of what went on, for not only for me, but what if my insurance company asks for something like that, and I don't have that, or, and always, it always is good having that video because, it's for me, I absolutely love it because you have all the telemetry, you have all the information, you know what's going on the whole time, and you have that great FPV view on it. So yeah, I mean, a good screen recorder is worth its weight in gold to me. But yeah, this price. Now, Lauren was talking like Dr. Ted asked a guess on a Fly More combo, and Lauren was guessing about $825 or so for something like that. But if it includes this, okay, on here, it's a game changer for me. I really think so. I really do.
Yeah, I agree because I like using a tablet too at times when I'm really have a lot of time. But it's a pleasure when you're out in the field, you go out with a smart controller and you just turn the drone and controller on. You don't have to hook any cables up. You don't have to attach the device, attach a
Right.
tablet mount. You're just up in you're just up in the air in seconds of whatever with that kind of setup.
You can bet that thing's going to end up being compatible with the RC Pro. Especially, it'll end up with OcuSync with 03 in it. You can guarantee they're going to make it compatible with the RC
You
Pro.
know something, Matt brought up
they
a
will.
good point, and I kind of wanted to jump on that because DJI does not spend, and I've always said this since day one, since I've started the channel. DJI does not waste technology, okay? And the technology with this RC Pro, okay, they're not just going to use it for enterprise drones, okay? You'll see it on the Inspire 3, and it will trickle down. I know what their spokesman said in their statement and everything, but I'll tell you what, okay? This is a thinner, the RC Pro. If you take a look at it, if you watch Russ's video, okay, it is thinner than the normal smart controller. Okay, I think it's much easier. The sticks are in a much better position on this than they are on the original smart controller in the second iteration of it. And the clarity on it, the look and the feel and everything on this RC Pro is a winner. And they invested a lot of money into it, and I think
I was referring to the RC Pro, the second iteration, not the RC Plus. The RC Plus is the big one.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the RC Pro that's compatible with the Mavic 3.
Yes,
the new one.
Yes,
the 5-inch screen. Yeah, that one will be compatible with the Mini 3.
Yeah.
Will end up being.
Yeah. And I think Bill, the new RC Pro with the big screen, that'll be compatible with DJI's whole enterprise line.
The enterprise line, yeah.
And the smart controller, I mean the RC Pro that came out with the Mavic 3, eventually, hopefully that's compatible with all DJI's consumer line of drones.
Consumer line, yeah.
Air 2S, Mini 3, Mavic 3, if there's a successor to the Air 2S, so they'll have
absolutely
controllers that'll control, but all consumer drone and then another controller for enterprise drone. That makes, like you said, that makes perfect sense from a manufacturing standpoint.
Absolutely.
They only have to concentrate on 2 controllers. But the Mini 3, if it does come with a control with a built-in screen, I mean, anybody who's budget conscious enough to buy the Mini 3 because they have the money's not going to go out and pay the money for the RC Pro to work with it. The only people that are going to do that, somebody that has the Mavic 3.
Yeah, somebody that's got all the drones.
Is the Mini 3. They may use it, but if the only drone you own is the Mini 3, you're buying that because of the price. You're not spending another $12.99 for the RC Pro.
Absolutely.
I know one thing. I am just so happy and content with my iPad Mini 5. And I love flying with that. I don't like flying with the phone, my iPhone.
Nope.
I mean, if you forget your iPad Mini 5, you have to fly with the phone. But I got to give Ron a lot of credit because he's the one that mentioned that on the affiliate Ron show way back when, and I went out and bought one right after they mentioned it.
For people like Captain Ray and Maddie who live in Florida and Bill too, you guys have more of a heat issue. The problem with using your phone is, Android phones I think are better, but the problem with using your iPhone is if you keep the case on it, it's going to overheat quickly in a warm environment, and it's going to dim your screen. Now, the iPad, the Mini 5, even the Mini 6, not that they're, they may have the same processing chip in, but they have more ways of relieving the heat. There's more holes in them. They're bigger. They relieve the heat inside the device easier than the phone does. So you don't have to worry about that dimming down as much as you do with the iPhone.
That's on the 5 and above, because I had a 4. And I don't know if I shared this with you guys. It shut down on me. Okay, it overheated.
I had the same issue. Yep.
And I'll tell you what, Ray, that was a scary time. But I was lucky because obviously I always keep the drone in sight. But I had it coming back on a return to home, and it was nice because even though I lost that view, I was still able to control it. I had no problem with that. But it just completely shut down on me.
And Bill, I'm not saying it won't happen on the 5, but what I'm saying, it won't happen as quickly as it will on the phone.
Right.
The 5 shut down on me. The 5 shut down on me 2 times since I've had it, and that was in the middle of the summer in Brooklyn when I was at those guys meetup. But it was a hot day, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Well,
think
there's
maybe
a
it was.
device, and I've seen it because a lot of private airplane pilots they use the Mini, and it's invaluable to them for just there's a whole host of an apps that they run. I follow a couple of private pilots channels on YouTube, and what they do is there's a device. It like has like 6 cooling fans behind it, and it keeps that thing cool all day long, and it doesn't draw
Oh,
a lot of current from it. Okay, it makes it's bulkier, but it works. Okay, and
Yeah.
it was specifically developed for private pilots. But a lot of guys, it's about $199. But if this is something that you really love, your Mini, going out there and flying with your drone, this is something that you should highly look into. I highly recommend it.
yeah. Yeah.
One of the other things that I wanted to talk about before we wrap up things tonight is I think we're going to, I think the FCC information, I think this is imminent. I think it's going to drop any day now. And I think we're going to look at a mid to late April kind of release. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I hope so. I really
Yeah,
do.
I think so. Yeah.
I really do. Hey, I'm actually gonna bounce out of here real quick.
Okay, Matt.
I start up in 10 minutes, so I want to get in and
Okay.
Everybody,
Thank you for joining us tonight, Matt.
Maddie's,
Yeah.
show at
All right,
9:15.
Yep.
Good to
I'll
see
see
you.
you guys in a little
Look
bit.
forward
Thank
to
you,
your
Bill.
show.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're right too. I mean,
The sooner the better. That's how I look at it. The sooner it's released, the better.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing more leaks all the time, and what'll happen is when it won't, when CLEV really comes on heavy with leaks, when he's really throwing out details, you're only days or weeks away, or a week or day away. When he throws out, at some point, he will throw out 95% of what this drone has.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then it's coming real soon.
Yeah. And like I said, these leaks from a CLEV, they're not officially sanctioned by DJI, but they might as well be because they directly come from there.
I mean, you remember we knew 95% of what was going to be in that drone about a week before.
A week before, yeah.
The leak. I don't think there was one mistake in those leaks.
Yeah, he's been. You know what? Since the
That was Jasper Ellens kind of got ahead of him on the Mavic 3, but Jasper's been a little quiet lately on the Mini 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Jasper on this. He has been kind of quiet on the Mini 3.
When you know he leaks it, it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. And like I said, guys, it's going to hit on the FCC database any day now. It will be out there. And and it's exciting because I think, for the first time, I think a lot of people might realize after hearing us tonight and talking about it, that being able to buy an all-in-one inclusive package. Okay. For example, I'll give you guys a real quick example here. A lot of radio control planes, they sell them as what they call RTF, ready to fly, meaning it has a controller, it has a battery, the servos are in it. All you got to do, quick put together, charge the battery, you're up in the air, you're ready to go. Okay. And this is the same kind of thing with the Mini 3, having that built-in screen, having that app already, built in there and ready to go. I mean, it's a real winner. And I'm really
let's talk about the 600-pound girl in the room too. If we get remote ID in the fall, November, it's somewhere later this year. If that hits and it hits without any changes, and the bit important changes that anybody will be able to see where you are when you're flying, the Mini 3 will not require remote ID because of the 200 grams. So at that point, the Mini 3, which will already be selling quickly, will become the best-selling drone of all time. Because a lot of people won't want to have the remote ID, and they'll go right to the Mini 3.
That's a good point,
You're
Ron.
absolutely right. Yep, Ron, you're
very good
absolutely
point.
right.
And it will sell like hotcakes. And one of the other things I wanted to say before we kind of wrap things up here is I think, and I mentioned this when I was on Drone Nation a couple of weeks ago, it's already here in the United States, okay? Because I know they.
I asked you, Bill. I said, "Well, all the shutdown in China because of COVID." And you said most of the units are the first round of units are already here, and we talked about if you want it, don't hesitate because when that first round is going, then the delay may start.
Yeah, don't hesitate. If you want to buy this drone, whenever it hits, if it's like at 10 a.m. in the morning or 9 p.m. at night or whatever, do it. Get out there. And I got to say this, and this was something that was really kind of funny. When the Mavic 3 hit, I think the announcement was like at 10 o'clock at night. It wasn't actually available for sale. I mean, their video started at 10. It wasn't over till about 10:30. That's when it was available for sale, because I kept hitting refresh on a couple other browsers that I had, and it still was cycling. It's not showing up. And then as soon as it was over, it was ready to go. It was ready to be able to buy it. So, I mean,
and here's a key question. I'm glad you brought that up. And of course, the Mavic 3, it was available to buy online, but it was not in like Best Buy or Best Buy for weeks. Like I don't know how many weeks it took, but it wasn't soon. Here's the big question: will the Mini 3 be available online only when it comes out, or will it be in Best Buy the next day?
I think it's going to be in Best Buy, because
I hope it's in Best Buy. Yeah,
it's a price leader for them. It's their best seller. It gets people into drones like never before. It's one of those things that you can't ignore it. You absolutely can't ignore it. It's going to have a big impact. It's going to be big sales, and it's going to be scooped up by a lot of people looking for a first drone. It's going to be a perfect first drone for them. It really will be. Having obstacle avoidance, having that built-in screen like that, it's going to be a real winner. Question of the day: what did you think about all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 3? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.